Van McCauley, the head coach of the Okanagan Sun, joining me now. And what a performance from your team, Ben, in Nanaimo last weekend. Just a thoroughly dominating victory from where I was watching that game. Was it that sort of feeling as well for you guys on the bus home that, man, we really took care of business on all sort of bases today?
I think we were satisfied with it, but the good thing is there's kind of a general feeling as well that we haven't played our best football yet, and there's no easy wins at this point in this league, as anyone watching this year can tell, which is great because we have to kind of step up, and everybody's got to pull their own weight and realize that we can't take a week off, whether it's against Kamloops or VI or West Shore. We've got to come ready to play every week, and I think guys recognize that. So, short-lived celebration where we beat a very good, well-coached football team, and now that that celebration's over, and we're going to get back to work.
The thing that I saw from your offense was keeping it really basic, getting the ball out of Matthew Mahler's hands very quickly, a lot of those swing patterns, a lot of lateral motion, and then just pounding the ball as well. Is that a byproduct of Mahler being in there and wanting to help him, or is that something in general, no matter whether it's Laux or him playing quarterback, that you guys feel like you can have success with offensively?
Well, it's kind of a philosophy for us, which is, if we do basic things well, we're very hard to stop. We've got a lot of talent, and we were playing without our an all-star caliber left tackle and Daniel Townsend and Nick Daly and Jacob were all out. So, we have to do things to kind of be smart about how we move the football around. We were talking just a little bit before about our turnover ratio, and while our defense has been outstanding at taking the ball away, our offense has also been good at taking care of the football. And that comes with just being disciplined.
Yeah, the amount of turnovers forced against the Raiders and in general. And it's funny, Paul Short said this on the broadcast. There's typically a direct correlation between the teams, how they stack up in the turnover, the plus minus, and how they stack up in the standings at the end of the season. It's if you win the plus minus game, you're going to be in good shape most times, eh?
Yeah, I think, and it's a focus for us every week. It's not something we just by accident fall into, which is being good at turnovers. It's something we have at least one or two segments per week where we just focus on turnovers and capitalizing on mistakes and finishing those plays in the end zone, because turnovers are great, but we had those at the beginning of the year too, but the difference was we weren't finishing on them. So now that we're able to kind of finish off those short fields, then we're in much better shape.
I know that you knew this team hadn't played to its capability, and I know that there was always that belief in what your team could achieve. But mid-season, 2-2-1, couple of tough losses on the record, the tie against the Rebels, and now here we are going into Week 9, and you guys have two home games with your own destiny to secure first place and home field advantage right through. Was there always that confidence and that knowledge that we can get there? Or was there ever a point, Ben, and in all honesty, where you thought, man, we're not heading where we need to go right now?
Yeah, I mean, you hate having your fate in someone else's hands, and when we were at that point in the mid-season, we knew a lot depended on how other people played, and that wasn't something that we're comfortable with. And there were times where you second guess yourself. You preach all the time, we want to be playing our best football by October, but then you start to kind of second guess yourself as well. Is that something that we're capable of doing? Is all of a sudden turning ourselves into a team that can have success? And it was great to get the last 3 wins. I think those are big confidence boosters for us, and the fact that we're doing it with guys who weren't necessarily headline names coming into the season. So I'd be lying if I said that I knew all along this is where we'd be, but I have always had the confidence. I've always believed in the guys in the locker room, and now everyone's starting to believe in themselves too.
You've got 2 games left, as I said before, to clinch home field advantage. It's your destiny. You control it. The matchup I think that most people are focusing on is West Shore coming up in Week 10, but you've got the Broncos this weekend. It looks like Brad Yamoka has dialed in here. Brad, can you hear me all right?
Oh, yeah, no, I got you. I can hear you. I was like, I was in, I was out. There, I was not. I was all over the map.
Brad is here. Ben, I might as well skip over to Brad here real quick. Brad, how cold is it there in Kamloops? How many layers do you have on, man?
I got a few layers on. I got my big winter jacket, so it's not too bad though. It's about 5 degrees.
Brad, it's been a couple of weeks since you and I have connected. Give me sort of the update on what's happening in Bronco land with your group right now.
Yeah, well, it's always tough to be 0-8 at this point of the season, and trying to keep the guys motivated to continue playing and or continue performing and coming out to practice every day and working hard. So but things have been going well. The attitude's been pretty positive, so we're pretty excited for the next couple of weeks. So.
This weekend, I know, is always fun for you guys. It's a tough matchup, but I know that sort of battle of the interior is something that both communities, get excited about. What's the approach going in against this Sun team that's pretty hot right now?
Well, just we just got to play well, right? I mean, we, obviously the first game or week one game we played against these guys, we weren't ready for it. So, I think we've improved over the course of the season. So, Okanagan has as well. But I think, our guys are ready, and they're ready to, go out there and prove that that the score shouldn't have been what it was in week one. So.
Ben, as I was asking you, the biggest matchup that people are looking at is you and the Rebels in Week 10, but you've got the Broncos this weekend. What's the conversation with your group about staying focused, not getting too high, and making sure that you are prepared for this opponent in this game?
Well, it's pretty simple for us to just kind of look back in the early part of the season where, we had some confidence going into some games there early, against Valley and against West Shore, and games we feel like we should have won and we didn't. And part of that's game planning on their part, and the other part is us just not being mentally ready. And we're not going to take that luxury with Kamloops. And there's nothing more dangerous than a team that needs a win. And we felt that early in the year where we wanted to take back control, and we played with desperation, and the results were good. So we expect that Kamloops is going to be playing with desperation as well. And a team like that with nothing to lose really is a dangerous team.
Brad, you talked about finding the motivators for your guys, and when you look at your group, the way they're practicing, the way they're preparing and playing, do you see that hunger there? That you haven't accepted the fate, so to speak. It isn't we know where we're going to be. Let's just get the season over with. Are you still seeing that sort of flame and that fight that we want to get at least one here?
Yeah, I think we haven't really changed our strategy, I guess. Or our kind of schedule, the way we kind of prepare for games, we haven't really changed, and the guys are still buying in. And we're young. I mean, I didn't at the beginning of the year I said we were kind of young, but then after a while I was looking at our roster and looking at our age of our guys, and I mean, yeah, we're really young. So hopefully if we can keep this group together, a couple of years from now we'll be in good shape. And it's just going to come down to, like you said, keeping them motivated, keeping them wanting to come back to Kamloops and play football here and have a positive experience.
Ben, is there a guy or a position or a part of the Broncos specifically that you really need to make sure you pay attention to?
Well, I think last time we played them, they did a great job against our defensive line up front. Since then we've had some more success rushing the passer and causing guys to make mistakes. But they were able early on to use some different protections in order to protect their guy. So looking at their offensive line, they scheme pretty well to play good up front, and I think the same goes on the defensive line. They've got guys who can make plays, so we have to be winning the battle in the trenches.
Is that something you'd agreed with, Brad, that the trenches are a spot where maybe is a strong suit for your club?
Well, yeah, it's definitely one of the spots that you want to make sure that you're doing well in, because we all know, as coaching football and being around football, that if you're not winning the battles up front, it's going to be a long day. So, we got some good guys. We have a couple of veteran guys on our line, and they've brought some of the youngsters along, and I think we'll be ready, a little bit more prepared, I guess, in a sense for what's coming this week with regards to Okanagan's D line, which I think is one of the better ones in the league for sure.
We're getting down to award season, all-star season, and all that fun stuff. And I've been asking the head coaches this week. I want to get your opinion from both of you guys. The coach of the year, with all due respect to both of you, for me is Bob Reist. Any comment, argument, contention with that, or agreement? What do you guys think?
Well, I would agree with it. I mean, I don't think anybody's turned a program around and done as much in the off season, I think, this past year as he has. Maybe Ben's got a different idea, but I think he'd be a great candidate for it.
Yeah, and I have the only argument I would have is it'd be great if we expanded it to assistant coaches as well, because I think around the league there are a number of coordinators who've done a great job, and we've got one particular right here, Nathan Mollard, who's put together a defense that we've got 48 takeaways on the year, and that's special teams and defense. He's done a fantastic job. But it's hard to take away from where Chilliwack is typically a week where you feel like you can rest guys, and that's certainly not the case anymore. And I think we've changed the way things are prepared for those games are prepared for the foreseeable future.
I'll bring that up at the next media meeting we have. Coordinator of the year as the new award, guys. That might be a popular one. We'll see. Thanks for your time, gentlemen. I appreciate it, and best of luck this weekend.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.